Hi, welcome to SBRForum's World Sports Weekly show. I'm your host, Natalie Rydström. The 2013 Indian Premier League has a month of play in the books. Several teams have made their way to the top of the table, only to fall back down, which makes the remainder of the tournament very exciting indeed. Now here with us now to recap the recent action, as well as give us his thoughts on the betting value for the IPL, is SBRForum contributor and sports writer Richard O'Hagan. Richard, thanks for joining us.
Hi there, Natalie.
Now, the Royal challengers Bangalore have slipped back into second place and are one win behind the Chennai Super Kings. Are you surprised by the recent form they've shown?
I'm not surprised at all, Natalie. One of the things that I've been flagging up all along is that although they did very well for their first 8 games, they now have a run of 6 consecutive away games and they haven't won an away game yet this season. And this is exactly what's happened. They've gone and lost 2 straight games away from home. Their star players like Chris Gale have barely scored a run. Their star bowlers like Vinay Kumar haven't taken a wicket. And it just seems like this is a team that plays very well when they're in Bangalore, but struggles to adapt to foreign conditions.
And the Chennai Super Kings themselves have faced a bit of controversy. The IPL management has decided to remove 2 playoff games from the squad, citing political tension. Can you expand on what this is all about and the implications?
What it's all about is to do with the Tamil Nadu government, Chennai being in Tamil Nadu, objecting to the Sri Lankan government and banning Sri Lankan players from playing in Chennai. And what the IPL have said is, well, we're sorry, Chennai, we had 2 of the playoff games scheduled to take place in your city. Therefore, we're taking them away and giving them to other cities so that every team has a fair chance to play their best side. But it does mean that Chennai now cannot play a playoff game at home. And that has slightly affected their odds in the sense that people realise that they're going to have to go through perhaps their last 3 or 4 games playing every single one of them away from home.
Now, the Rajasthan Royals are sat in 3rd place, but have the Mumbai Indians hot on the trail. Do you expect the Royals to climb up in the standings or be passed by the Indians?
I don't expect them to be passed by the Indians any day soon. Mumbai have been on a good run. They won 3 consecutive games before today, and then today they went and lost to Hyderabad. Rajasthan are one of those teams that they've just been hanging in there around the top of the table for most of the tournament. They will fight and fight and fight, certainly. They're a good side. I think they're a good bet for a playoff place. I don't think they're quite good enough to win it.
Okay, now let's not forget to mention the defending champs, the Kolkata Knight Riders, and their struggles. The Knight Riders must face the Delhi Daredevils next. Do you think they have any chance to turn their campaign around?
Well, they certainly could turn their campaign around. They came with a late run last year to actually get through into the playoffs and win the tournament. But I just don't see it this year. It's just not a team that is functioning well. They don't have enough players in good enough form at any one time to make for a contest. It's exactly the same problem that Delhi have been having. The difference being that Delhi seems to be running into some kind of form now, whereas Kolkata, they're just bumbling along. And I can easily see Kolkata ending up last in this competition this year.
Okay, well, as for the bottom of the table in general, who, if anyone, do you think might have a betting value to go on a nice run? Perhaps the Delhi Daredevils?
I think it's definitely going to be Delhi if you're going to back anyone to get out of there and make the playoffs, and you'll get very good odds on them now because they've only won 2 games so far. Pune Warriors, I would steer well clear of. They are doing a frequent impression of a side that's never played cricket before, let alone one that's like to win a championship. And Kolkata, who are the other strugglers, as I've said, I actually think they could end up below Pune. It's going that way for them.
Okay, now with the IPL at its halfway point, do any of your handicapping strategies change at all here, or any relevant facts you begin to weigh when making your bets?
There are 1 or 2. First of all, teams are going to start losing some of their key players as they go back either to domestic cricket in England. Some of them may be required for other domestic competitions around the world, and the Australians may get pulled back to the Australian squad ready to come over for the Champions Trophy in June and the Ashes in July. That's going to particularly affect someone like James Faulkner, who's the top wicket-taker at the moment. He's just been called into the Ashes squad. He'll be a debutant there. And so that's going to have an impact on him, particularly if you're looking in the leading wicket-taker market. Injuries also start becoming a factor. If you look at people like another leading wicket-taker, Dwayne Bravo, who's never gone through an IPL without missing some games injured. And another factor actually could start being the weather. It's going to start getting wetter in some parts of India, and you're going to have to be checking those forecasts very carefully, because you could even get teams where games are washed out, and that's the only way you can have a drawn game in the IPL is a complete washout.
Okay, Richard, you've given us some interesting facts there to think about. Thanks for joining us there.
You're welcome.